Hi everyone, this is Ray Gaucher. Welcome to my YouTube channel if this is the first time you're visiting, and if you've been here before, you know the routine. The channel is called Life on the Road with Yeshua, and I like to share my experiences on the road as a trucker and what the Lord Yeshua is doing in my life every single day. Just wanted to give you a bit of an update on what's been going on with me. I am now technically employed with a new trucking company. I will be starting on January 2nd. Gave my notice yesterday with the company that I'm with now, so a 2-week notice. And I guess January 1st, or no, January 2nd, is it January 2nd will be my last day? Something like that. Anyway, so January 2nd or 3rd, I'll be heading to Langley to do orientation for 1 day and do some training. And then hopefully the next day they'll put me in a truck and I'll be on my way. Now the difference with this company is we'll be hauling a lot of containers. And containers can be a little bit dangerous because if you're taking corners too sharp, they can tip really easy. So it's a lot different than hauling a regular trailer. Now the company that I went to apply for, the one that I was telling you about before, there was a whole bunch of red flags with that situation. And one of them was I went for my road test and passed it with flying colors. Now the problem with this I got into the truck and did my pre-trip, and the guy who was taking me for the road test was sitting there kind of documenting everything I was doing. And one of the tests that you do is, you know, before you even start moving with your truck, before you get going, is you test all your air. You make sure your air, your brakes, make sure everything's working properly. And one of the tests that you do is you're simulating a situation where you're losing your air. And when you lose your air, it's supposed to dynamite your trailer brakes. It's supposed to dynamite your brakes, period. And when it gets down below about 60 psi. So what you normally do is you get into the truck, you make sure your air is up to about 120 psi, and you pump your brakes. And you continue to pump them until it gets down to about 60 psi and a little bit lower possibly. I guess it all depends on what truck it is. And it's supposed to dynamite your brakes. Well, I'm pumping away, 80 psi, 70 psi, 60 psi, 50, 40, and nothing's happening. And I turned to the guy and I said, there's a problem here. These brakes aren't dynamiting. He's like, yeah, there's a bit of a problem. Well, we'll just keep the road test near to the yard. And I'm thinking, really? Okay. And I just thought, okay, this ain't good. And I kind of noticed too that a lot of the equipment they had in the yard, the equipment was, you know, the trucks, a lot of it looked run down, the trailers looked run down, and I'm just like, gee, I wonder if this is going to be such a great idea. But previous to that day, the night before, and on my way to the interview, I had prayed and I asked God, I said, God, if this is not your will, if something's not good about this situation, please close the door. Now, the same day, just before my interview, I had to go for a drug test. And anyone that's done a drug test, you know the routine, peanut cup. So I tried. I could not go. I could not go up to the level they wanted me to. Just a little bit like that, and I could not go. And that's all the details I'm going to give you. But I never have a problem using the bathroom. As a small child, always had a bit of a weak bladder. Again, that's too much information. But ask anyone that knows me. There's Ray again looking for the bathroom. But I could not go. And the people at the place where I took my test, they said, well, because you can't go, this is considered a refusal. And I went, what do you mean a refusal? I gave you what I had. I'm not refusing you a sample. And they said, well, it's considered a refusal. I says, okay, whatever. They said, you can stick around we can keep giving you water and keep giving you water. Up to 3 hours you can hang out here. And I'm not going to sit here for 3 hours. Besides, I had an interview in a half an hour. I had to go. So, but I couldn't go. Okay, that was bad. Okay, so anyhow, I ended up leaving. I couldn't do the test. and went for the interview. The interview went fine. They want to hire me. But I seen some huge red flags there, and I just had another interview lined up the same day because I took the day off, and I figured, I might as well take the opportunity. And I went and checked out another company. I'm not going to mention who they are yet until I'm in the driver's seat and I'm doing my thing, but apparently they have a really good reputation. And from the interview that I had with them, they want their drivers to drive during the day. That's a huge plus because they said it's safer and all around it. Yeah, it's just all around it's safer, and besides, drivers aren't fighting to stay awake in the middle of the night. This other company that I went to apply for, or went to the interview for, the one that I had the air issues with, all their loads are ready by midnight, and they want their drivers to drive at night. And to me, that's a big negative because it's not that I can't drive at night. I just don't sleep very well during the day. I just don't. I'll drive all the way to Calgary, straight driving all the way there, totally bagged, totally tired, and lay down, go to sleep. 4 hours later, I'm awake again, and I cannot get back to sleep. And I found myself in a lot of situations when I was working for Challenger that I would sleep 4 hours, get up, do whatever, work on a video, could not get back to sleep. And I tried everything, listening to my audio Bible, reading the Bible, doing everything I could. I could not get back to sleep. And then I ended up driving halfway to Golden and falling asleep. And then having to pull over and have a 45-minute nap and then do it again and then stop in Sicamous and the same thing. And I just thought, this is ridiculous. I just don't sleep very well during the day. I only sleep like 4 hours. So driving at night is a huge negative for me. So knowing this other company would prefer their drivers to drive during the day is a huge plus. Plus they pay better, and they really do seem to care about their equipment. Their equipment is new, and from what I've heard from another employee that works there, so far so good for them. They really like who they're working for. So that's kind of what's going on with me. Gave my notice yesterday. I'll be starting with this other job the first week of January, and I can't wait to get back on the road. I am excited about it. Most people might think you're a little nuts to want to go on the highway first week of January. Well, 2.5 months or 3 months of winter that I'll be dealing with, but it's better than dealing with 6 months of winter. So that's kind of what's going on with me. My girlfriend suggested too something else that I wanted to do before, but I keep forgetting, and that's to read comments that you guys leave for me on my videos. And from now on in the future, on my future videos, I will be reading your comments. If you have questions, you want to ask me something, leave it on this particular video if you like, and on my next video, I'll answer your comments, or read your comments and answer your questions. Whatever you might have. I also have created a Facebook page for my Life on the Road with Yeshua. I have a regular Facebook, but I also created a page. So I think it's facebook.com/Life on the Road with Yeshua, one word. It's very easy to find. Be sure to hit Facebook and like my page and keep up to date on what's going on. And I think also on my YouTube page, it's somewhere there as well. I think it's on the main page. So yeah, look for me on Facebook, Life on the Road with Yeshua. So until we have more information for you, that's all I got for you right now. So God bless all of you in the name of Yeshua. And until next time, be careful out there. And Jeanette, if you're watching, I love you, girl. Okay, bye everyone.